I'm going to tell you how I secured my current job that I was not the most qualified candidate for. I'm currently an HR manager. I started with this company as a recruiter, and the way that I got noticed was essentially I went a step above most other applicants. I applied to this position on Indeed, and me today would tell you to follow up with the hiring team, send an email, try to get in contact with someone to tell them about your application, but I had not done that at that time. Instead, I applied on Indeed, I met some of the basic qualifications, and then they called me in person for the interview. And here's what I did to stand out in front of candidates that had way more experience than I did. Again, this can be applied to many different industries, but what I specifically did would work for recruiters and anyone in HR who's looking to get a job in the field. So, in order to prepare for the interview, I went on Indeed and LinkedIn and pulled a few different positions that they were hiring for that were in completely different fields. Something in sales, and then something in the certified trades, and then something in office staff. So, those are the three categories that I pulled out. And then I printed those job descriptions, took them with me to the interview, and pointed out how I would individually hire for each role. Anyone who's in HR knows that you typically will hire differently for an office or a manager position than you would, let's say, something in skilled trades. At this point, I knew that they were using Indeed and they were using LinkedIn for their hiring, but I didn't know if they were using any other methods. So that's what I brought to the table. I told them how I would hire for this management position, what type of platforms I would use, how I would do specific outsourcing for that position. And then on the other side, for the skilled trades, I told them, here's how that position could be posted. Here's how you get idle candidates. Here's how, you can kind of try to reach out to people in a different way than just LinkedIn and Indeed. And it worked. I was told by the individual that hired me that the number one reason that they decided to move forward with my application, again, in comparison to someone who had more experience, is because I came prepared. I went a step ahead than anyone else had done, and I showed initiative, which is what they wanted for this role. Is this always going to work, in an industry or in a position outside of HR? It can. The same methodology can be used. For example, if you're looking for a position in sales, let's say you're looking to sell telephones. How I would prepare for that interview is I would pull up some of the different products that they sell, in this case phones, model A, model B, model C, and then in the interview I would come prepared to tell them why I would recommend the customer buy the most expensive product. That's essentially what I did in my interview. I built the value on what I bring to the table, and I proved it. I didn't just tell them I'm an ambitious person, I proved it. I didn't tell them that I'm someone who just, cares, I showed it. Again, you could apply that same methodology to any role. Most candidates don't go that extra step.